Here is the generally accepted scenario for the future: globalization, interracial marriages, and in a couple of hundred years all people on Earth will look the same. What if I told you that this is just a short episode in the long history of mankind? And what can await us after this phase of unity is a new round of division? And for this, civilization only needs to collapse. Let's look at the trends: migration, tourism, the internet. The boundaries are blurring. Genes that have accumulated in isolation for thousands of years begin to actively mix. In 200-300 years, pure phenotypes will disappear. The bright white skin of the Scandinavians, the very dark skin of the Bantu, the narrow eyes of the Mongoloids, all this will disappear into the general gene pool. Most people will have average traits. This is neither bad nor good, it's just the math of mixing. But this story is about what happens next. And now, the plot twist. Our entire global village hangs on fragile threads: complex supply chains, the internet, energy networks. Imagine any rollback scenario: a pandemic worse than COVID, a nuclear winter, a machine uprising, or simply a slow collapse from the depletion of resources. Doesn't matter. What matters is the result: the global system is collapsing. No electricity, no internet, no cheap flights. And here it is. The magic: globalization has ended and isolation has begun. The survivors are divided into small groups, and these groups find themselves cut off from each other by mountains, rivers, radiation deserts, and simple fear. And here the main director of life on Earth, natural selection, comes into its own. Without drugs, without heating, without sunscreen, it is not the smartest or richest who survive, but the most adapted to specific conditions. In cold regions, people with stocky builds to retain heat better, narrow noses to warm the air, and, of course, fair skin will have an advantage. For what? In order to produce vitamin D more efficiently in conditions of lack of sun, the population will become lighter. In hot latitudes, those with dark skin that protects from the deadly ultraviolet radiation will survive. A tall and thin body will cool better. Wide nose, evaporate moisture more efficiently. The population will darken and stretch out. And if some group survives on dairy farming, then the lactose tolerance gene in adults will be the ticket to life. It will spread throughout the population within a few generations. This is not fantasy. These are the basic laws of evolutionary biology that have worked for millions of years. Technology only suspended them. Let this mechanism work for 20-40,000 years. This is not such a long time by evolutionary standards. And we will get an amazing picture. Humanity, which was once mixed, will again be divided into distinctly different groups. These will no longer be the same races that we know today. These will be new humanity, whose appearance will be a crystal clear reflection of the landscapes in which they survived. This is cyclic raceogenesis, my hypothesis that the history of human appearance can go in a circle. So our future is not a straight path from diversity to uniformity. It's more of a loop, a possible loop, the price of which is the collapse of our technological civilization. I am not a professor, but simply a person who is interested in thinking about such things. Therefore, this hypothesis is not the ultimate truth, but an invitation to reflection. What do you think? Do you see any weaknesses in this logic? Which scenario do you think is more likely? Write your thoughts in the comments, let's argue. And if you were interested, subscribe to the channel and also like it. There are still many thoughts ahead.